Today, we're going to be talking all about exploring your majors and career, and we're going to be exploring two sides of this. You're going to be exploring the question of what what you should be doing if you already know about your future career path, and how do you want to keep exploring it. And we're also going to be considering what if you don't know about your career path and how you can earn some more clarification on that. Um, yeah. So before we get into that, my name is Aya. I am a facilitator here with Let's Get Ready. Me and my coworker Angela host these workshops throughout the year to keep you guys up to speed with the latest college information that you guys will be needing come college application season in the fall. So I attend the University of Rochester and I'm dual enrolled in the Eastman School of Music. And I am a political science major and a guitar performance double major on the pre-law track, which is just a fancy way of saying I want to be an attorney. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, and I would say my favorite thing about college is being in a sorority. I definitely got to meet a lot of fun people, and I also really like being at a school with such awesome faculty. It really is a crazy feeling to just get to talk to such um established professionals in the field that I want to go to. Other than that, I listen to a lot of The Weeknd. The Weeknd has been like my top artist. The Weeknd and Taylor Swift alternate with my top artist. But yeah, that is a little bit about me. I lost my speaker's notes, so give me 1 second to reshare. Um, yeah, if you have any questions about my school or whatever, feel free to ask. And also, my Calendly link is on there. So if you have any questions about this workshop at all and you want to meet one-on-one, those are my office hours. Feel free to set up meetings with me and we can go further in depth about topics and I can give you more personalized support. Um, okay, now that my speaker's notes are back, let's get back to, oh, I don't think I'm screen sharing. The technical difficulties here, guys. I'm so sorry. Bear with me. Okay, let's get that out and then the chat. Perfect. Here we are. Okay, so here's an overview of tonight. We just did the welcome and icebreaker. We're gonna go, our first section is going to be speaking about colleges and concerns, and we're gonna do some myth busting. Then we're going to be talking about return on investment, aka ROI, talking about how you can decide whether or not a college is a good investment for you. Then we'll have a 5 minute break. And then afterwards, we're going to go into deciding on a major and or career path. And like I said before, we're going to be exploring both sides of that. If you have a sense of what you want to do, and if you're a little unsure, we'll go deeper into both. And then we'll wrap all of this up by speaking about our personal narrative, which is just a story that you want to tell your college admissions officers. So if you guys have came to our previous workshops, you might know that there is a raffle of the day, and the way to be entered into it is by one, chatting in or sponsor a question. That'll give you one ticket. You get 2 tickets if you unmute and respond to or ask a question, and 3 if you keep your camera on. That is another shot for you to win $10. And you'll get it in the form of a gift card, which you could spend at a bunch of different places. And then finally, we have a grand prize raffle. So alongside getting really fun knowledge, every workshop you attend, you get a ticket towards our grand prize raffle where we give away $25, $50, and $100. So be on the lookout for more workshops for a chance to win $100. Okay, let's get into it. So, major and career busting. In this section, we're primarily going to be talking about myths that people believe when thinking about their future. So, myth number one. This is probably the biggest one that people think of when applying to colleges, and that is I need to know my major now. So, you might be speaking around to your classmates, and they are probably thinking about what they want to major in, and I'm sure you guys have already heard people talking about their intended majors. And I just want to normalize it is completely fine to either know or not know. A lot of people start college undeclared. A lot of schools actually don't even make you do any major related classes until later on. So, truthfully, it is fine if you don't necessarily know everything that you want to go into right now. That is the vast majority of students' realities. So, just remember that now is a time to explore and learn more about your interests. And like I said before, during those first few years of college, you're going to spend um, most of your time taking core classes that all college students in that school will have to take. And within those classes, you'll get to kind of focus in on what you like a little bit more. And later on, you'll finally take classes that are within your major. So you probably won't start taking major related classes until the start of your junior year, end of your sophomore year of college. So you have time. Um, Different colleges require you to declare a major at different points, and that should be a part of your research. We'll get into what that means a little bit later on, but something to keep in mind for right now. Okay, let's go to myth two. Myth two is that I need to know my career right now. So this might come as a surprise, but a lot of careers don't necessarily require a specific major. I really take this one to heart because I want to be an attorney and I'm studying music. There's not necessarily a rule book for what you have to major in for the career that you want to get for the most of fields. So the vast majority of professions, you're probably going to meet people that have majored in a bunch of different things. I know I think one of the crazier ones that I've heard of is like my high school math teacher was like a history major. Um, so just remember that a lot of people major in different things that don't necessarily always align with their career. There are some exceptions to this, and that tends to be in more technical degrees. So degrees that are super STEM heavy is typically the ones that are the exception. So like nursing, engineering, and architecture. Most of those times you need to have a degree in that specific field. So if that's something you're looking into, just make sure you're doing research for each college that you're applying to. Look into their requirements for technical degrees in case you are interested. Um, but either way, a 2 or 4 year degree, regardless of what it is, already makes you eligible for a lot more jobs, regardless of what it is you study. A lot of employers care that you were able to get through the challenge that is a college degree and college itself. And so that already sets you apart. So keep that in mind. Whether or not you have a career goal, college is the time where you're exploring this and you're gaining experience in your area of interest, but also in so many other areas of interest. Colleges are huge research institutions, and they have so many opportunities for you. So make sure you're utilizing them. So myth number three, and I have a question for you guys. What percentage of college students do you think change their major at least once? So let's try to type this one in the chat. You can type your responses and then we'll like count down from five and then we'll see who has their response. So I'll give you like a couple seconds to type your response and then I'll count down and then we can all send it. And then I'll say what I know what the answer is, but I'll say my guess. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send it. Okay, so my guess would have been 45. Natalie, you're on the dot too. Rocio says 38. Sarah says 20%. So the actual rate of which students are changing their majors is 50%. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, half the student body of the college is changing their major at least once. I am guilty of this. I applied to the U of R as a psychology and biomedical engineering major. I know nothing about those two fields now, but I was able to explore more and finally find out what my interests are. So you are definitely likely to change your mind at some point in your college career. And Sarah went from biochem to English. So, but yeah, it's completely normal to change your mind about what you study. And this could be even applied after college. Professionals also change their career. Like there are people that are fully established in their careers that still pivot it. And an example that I like to give is I don't know if you guys watch Good Luck Charlie, but the person that plays Charlie, Bridget Mendler, she was a child actress and she also made music. But after she was done acting, she went to MIT and dueled in Harvard to get her PhD and like her Juris Doctor. So like she was a child actress, but now she's a double doctor, which is insane. So just know it's normal to change your mind even later on in your career. Your future is not set in stone just yet. And most colleges make it so that you can change your major pretty easily during your first couple of years. However, it is important to note that if you're going to change your major after that, it could take a little bit longer to complete your degree. And by year three, if you get to your junior year and you want to change your major, maybe you should just stick it out. But just think about it for now. You got the first 2 years to explore, but if you go through that, you get all the way to graduating college with a degree and you're still not content, it's not too late. So hopefully that eases some anxieties. Yeah. And then that's all of our myths. So let's go to our next section, which is return on investment. So we talked a little bit about how college is a time for you guys to discover more about yourself. And I'm sure you've probably heard from a lot of people in your life, such as teachers or employers, whoever it may be, that college was a pretty big period of their life and it transformed them. Um, and so you want to make sure that the college you choose to go to is a good investment for you. And I don't just mean that financially. Like, yes, school is a financial investment, but you're also investing your time and energy for 4 to 5 years in this place. So you definitely want to go into it feeling like it's a good decision for you. So in this section, we're gonna be talking a little bit more about what it means to maximize what you get out of college. So, what is return on investment? Does anybody care to read this? Yeah, Natalie, go ahead.
A calculation of the mandatory of value of investment versus its cost.
Yeah, thank you. So, what it means on a technical level is how much it is going to cost you to go to college and then the long-term value of it. And cost of college is one a financial thing, but it's also just the amount of time and energy you're putting into that. And if you find it's worth it for you, you should always feel like you are getting more out of it than what you put into it. So definitely something to think about. So, um, if you're sitting here and be like, okay, so should I go into college thinking to make as much money as possible out of graduation? And one way to answer that is that it's a subjective question. If making a lot of money is something that is a priority for you, let's look at the financial side of what it means to maximize our financial ROI. So maximizing your earning potential. There are two ways to leverage your college degree to make good money. One of the biggest ways to do this is by researching which fields are growing. It's going to make it a lot easier to get a job in these fields if you're looking into what jobs people are wanting to see, and maybe even look at things like AI and like how is AI adapting your field at all? How is it like hurting it? So definitely looking into the fields in advance, even if you don't know what it is, still looking at growing fields is going to be super helpful. Um, and then also making a lot of money is important for you. You should also try to aim for a high paying career, but also keep in mind that it should be an area where you feel like you're academically strong, and also the competition shouldn't be like incredibly high. So what are some jobs that you guys think or you would consider to be high paying?
Lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer is one. I always think doctor,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
doctor,
say.
engineer, yeah, like pilot. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are very high paying. Um, and some on the flip side, things that you might not know, but some demands that are pretty high demand. Some jobs that are high demand can be like nurse practitioners, um, data scientists, teachers. Like people are always looking for people to work as these jobs. So if making a lot of money and just having security is important to you, look into those jobs, but also don't feel like you have to just because you want to make money. Like you should be going to school to satisfy yourself and to um just make sure you're fulfilling yourself. And of course, being financially stable could be something that's very fulfilling for you, but just don't do it just because you feel like you have to make money. Because you want to be as happy as possible to get yourself through it. So if you're on like the flip side and you're like, okay, I'm here at college, but money isn't my number one priority. And So here's what I would want you guys to think about if you feel like money isn't the only ROI that you're thinking about. It's I know I've mentioned this before, but you are investing your time and energy. College takes so much time out of your life. It's 2+ years potentially to earn an associate's degree, and then that's 4 years to earn your bachelor's degree. That is all of high school and even more sometimes all over again. So you want to invest your time in a college that you feel is worth it because you are going to be giving up at least 4 years of your time. So make sure you're looking at places where you could see yourself growing throughout 4 years, you don't feel like your growth is going to be stunted. Another thing is that you're investing your energy. The goal of college is to, you should be having fun and feeling all around. Like you need to, of course, learn and be there for school, but you also want to give yourself as much professional opportunity as possible and social opportunities, whatever it may be. You do want to grow. Um, Hi Matthew, thanks for joining us. We're just talking about um priorities while in college.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. But finally, you're setting yourself up to have a life that you'll enjoy, which is why it's so much more important to think about things that aren't financials. Of course, financials are important, but you want to consider a college that you feel like you're going to meet people that you'll have throughout your life and also be given opportunities that are going to help you long term, whether that be internships, research experience. You want to look at a school that has that to offer you. So here are the three other ways to maximize your college ROI. So first is minimizing costs and loans. Two is building a strong resume and network. And three, getting ready to finish college. So we are going to go into all of these, but before we do, we have a poll for you guys. So between the three things listed here and the two things that we talked about earlier, um, what, sorry, which one of these things do you want to get the most out of college? Is it minimizing loans, aiming for a high-paying job, aiming for job security, building a strong resume, or getting mentally ready to complete college? So take a second to answer that.
For me, it would be minimizing costs and loans. I don't know much about that, and I would want to learn more. Maybe like a guide, basically, to tell me how it works and like
Yeah,
what I should be how do I say it? Um, what I should like look forward to, basically.
yeah, for sure. And like I dropped my calendar, Sarah put my Calendly link in there earlier, but if you ever want to meet for like 30 minutes, like we can for sure look at schools that like are more affordable. We have like a whole workshop on like college affordability and we're going to go into it on the next slide, but that's definitely a very valid concern. Like I was very scared about like affording college, but just know that there are ways to make it as affordable as possible.
All right, thank you.
Of course. So yeah, that seems to be the biggest trend. A lot of people get worried about minimizing the cost, but also a lot of people care for job security and getting jobs that are high paying. So thank you guys for answering that. Let's go into the first concern, minimizing costs and loans. So the cost of college is the total that you're you're paying for your degree. So if you're paying less for college, that's increasing your ROI. And here are just some fun ways to do that. One, attending a college that has a lower sticker price. So community colleges and state colleges, those tend to have lower tuition prices in general, which makes it more affordable on average. So this is like your public in-state universities, and if you're from the city, like that's your CUNY system. But the state universities tend to be the cheapest and tend to offer more financial aid for in-state residents. So that's something to look into. Second, you want to apply to schools that provide good financial aid. I know a lot of times people get scared of applying to like bigger private schools because they see the tuition is like 90,000 and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay that?" But speaking from my experience, the University of Rochester is a private school, but through both in-state programs and like institutional need-based aid, I was able to get essentially all of my college costs covered with the exception of like um some of my room and board, but either way, I chose a school with good financial aid because I knew that this was important to me going into college. So if this is something that worries you, just know that there are schools that offer good financial aid, and you also want to apply to tons of scholarships. Scholarships are free money that is available to you guys. All you got to do is apply for it and really put your all into the application, and that is a great way to minimize the cost of college. A pretty common theme I've seen is that people will take out so much loans just to go to a school because they think it's a good school. And while school name is important, just know that you should never be you should think very carefully about taking out a lot of loans and putting yourself in debt just because you think a school is a good school. All of these schools are great schools. So just something to know. I would love to get further into this, but just know that in the future we will have a entire workshop, and we'll mention this in multiple workshops, how you could like build affordable college list. So if you are worried about this, don't worry too much. Just know that there are ways for you to make it affordable. Um, Two, building a strong resume and network. So this is probably one of the best ways to maximize the ROI while you're on campus. Your schools will have you'll have access to professors that have PhDs in their field. You're going to be in classrooms with students that also wanted to be in that classroom with you, like-minded students that are also getting college degrees. You're going to be meeting a lot of people that are living shared experiences with you and that have already lived in your position. Like your professors already did undergrad. So you want to take as much advantage as possible for that network. So here are just some ways to do that. We're going to talk a little bit more about how you can impress employers, but I feel like a big thing is networking and not enough people talk about it. So get to know your professors. When class ends, introduce yourself to them, go to their office hours, engage with their class material, raise your hand in class, whatever it may be. But they're a great way to get your foot into the door if you're interested in like a certain field. Your professors are very knowledgeable people that know other very knowledgeable people, and 9 times out of 10, they're willing to connect you to who they know and to help you progress in your career. So take the opportunity to get to know them a little bit more. I also will swear by keeping in touch with coworkers and bosses. Um, this is particularly important because you never know who's able to offer you a job. Even for Let's Get Ready, I did Let's Get Ready um as a high school student, and I still had like my contact from my coach saved. And so, now I'm employed with Let's Get Ready, and that wouldn't have been possible without me keeping in touch. Um, and Sarah just said that she was a coach before she became a program manager. So definitely something to look into. And Sarah makes a really good point with like your professors being able to potentially offer you an internship or a research opportunity. They are quite literally like networking powerhouses. Speak to your professors. Most of them have PhDs. It's just an incredible opportunity. And then finally, joining your major related clubs or professional organizations or Greek life, that opens another network for you. And the more people you know, it makes it so much easier for you to get a job and to just get practice talking to people in professional settings. And that leads us right nicely into like impressing future employers. So the more people you know, like you're going to get used to speaking to people. You're going to get used to doing more work directly related in your major. So that's definitely going to impress future employers when you know how to carry yourself, know how to speak in relation to the field that you're interested in. It definitely shows that you have done your research, spoken to professionals in that field that really impresses them. Similarly, if you do research with a professor, that gives you hands-on experience on everything you might be doing in your career. And another thing you could do to impress your future employer is just by taking on leadership roles on campus. I was president of my university's college feminist club, so I spent a lot of time representing this organization, and it taught me to be a better speaker overall, and just really helped the way I carry myself and helped me grow professionally. So don't sleep on networking. It has given me every wonderful opportunity I've had so far. So keep that in mind. And then finally, our third thing is getting ready to finish college. So beginning college needs to feel like a decision that you feel good about and that you feel motivated for on your own terms. It is a huge decision to go to college. You are putting in 4 years of your life, you're putting in money, you're putting in effort. There's just so much that you're putting in. So um you want to feel like that you're ready to make that decision. So it's a really big thing. You want to set yourself up for success by choosing a college where you're going to feel happy and supported. And that's because your support system is going to be everything for you. I am in an intense degree program where I'm taking 10 classes every semester, and that could be very, very overwhelming. And I think something that has helped me is just like being able to come home and spend time with either the girls in my sorority or just like my friends. It is quite lovely to like just be able to decompress with them um after a very long day. So, with that said, what's one thing that you think will help you guys make college feel like a place where you can thrive? What do you need to thrive in college? And you could also think of like what is helping you thrive right now in high school. What makes it easier for you?
For me, I'll say just being yourself all the time and trying not to get too distracted with things that like will get you off the line. Like it's like you're on a mission in a way. Like
Yeah, you are.
you're going there, you have things to do, you have things to do, and just don't let. I mean, I'm trying to like don't let people influence you in a way that will get you out of character. I should say.
Yeah, for sure. Like the people that you spend time with are everything. You want to spend time with people that also care about getting to their goals. And like there are people, unfortunately, that get to college and aren't there for the right reasons and aren't as like locked in on making their goals come true. So definitely like being conscious of who you're spending time with is going to be very helpful for you. Um, but having a wonderful support system is everything. It makes it a million times easier. We're gonna go into a break. But before we do that, I just want to reassure you guys that all of these things that we talked about, all three of them, they are ways to maximize your ROI. You don't have to do all of them, but I want you guys to keep each and every one of these in mind, so you really feel like you're getting the most out of college. Um, but yeah. I hope you guys were able to learn something from that section. We're going to go into our 5 minute break. So we'll come back after that, and then we're gonna go into our final portion, and we're gonna be talking a little bit more about deciding on your major slash career path, and then ending it off with speaking about our personal narrative. So yeah, go have fun for 5 minutes. See you soon. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to be talking all about what it means to decide on a major and or career field. So, before we get into this, out of curiosity, does anyone feel like they already know a little bit about what they want to do when they're in college? Rocio?
I know I want to major in criminal justice, and then I know I want to go into law.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What like made you interested in that?
I've always been interested in criminal justice and true crime and all that, so I just picked what's my best interest.
Nice. Natalie, what about you? Natalie's probably still on break. That is okay. Uh, but yeah, I was like set on like biomedical engineering and like psychology before I got to school, which is so crazy because my mind has drastically changed. So let's get into what it means to actually choose a major. So choosing a major is what to put it in quite simple words, it's deciding to pursue a particular field of study for your degree. Emphasis on the word study. It means that you're going to follow a path of study and not necessarily a specific future. So majors can provide many future career paths, and it does not have to be related to your career at all. But regardless, your degree is going to have value. Um, an example I like to give for this is like being pre-med or pre-law. Like you can ask a lot of pre-med students like what their major is, and you're not going to get one specific answer. And same thing with pre-law. Like I'm a music major that's also pre-law, and that I have friends that are like English majors that are pre-law, just like how there are people that are pre-med on like and like dance majors. A lot of the time it doesn't necessarily have to correlate with what you want to do. And I think a big thing that we can see this in specifically is like communications. So I want to ask like what do you guys think that someone who gets a communication degree does after graduation? What type of jobs do you think they would get? I think if I had to guess, like I would have immediately just thought like sports broadcasting or something like that. Any guesses?
The media, like
Yeah, like media
journalism.
related stuff. Yeah, journalism is a big one. Um, but you could also go into things like event management, creative directing. You could go into speech writing. You could go into like directing social medias and like being a PR specialist. Like there are a lot of things you could do with a communications degree. There's not just one set thing. And you could say the same thing about so many other degrees, like for example, psychology, math, public policy, even really niche things such as Arabic literature. Like there are ways to take these fields and to help you in your career. Like just because you are studying psychology, like you could take the approach to study psychology and use that in like law school, but you could also study psychology and go to grad school to be a teacher. You could study psychology and go to med school. Like a lot of these majors, you're not choosing your future. You're just choosing something that you want to study and that you feel like you're going to benefit from. So, I wish I heard that a little bit more when I was in undergrad in high school, just because I feel like I put so much weight on what it is I wanted to major in. And I thought that that was me deciding on what I had to do with my life, and that is not always the case. Deciding a major just helps you narrow it down on what your interests are and helps you expand knowledge in that field. So I know I said this before. We talked a little bit about what it means to declare a major. We have an entire slide on what it looks like to actually choose a major. So school and major decisions. Different schools are going to ask you to declare a major at different times in your undergraduate career. So there's a couple of options here. One is degree programs, like certificate programs that are often offered at like two-year colleges. A lot of the time you're going to be applying directly to the certificate program, knowing that that's what you're going to get. So that's like directly declaring your major. That's the first option. Second option is applying to a specific major at the college. There are some colleges that want you to apply directly into the major. And that's not to say that you can't change your mind later on. They might have you like reapply, but there are some schools that have you apply specifically to that major. And then option number three is just applying undecided and declaring your major at the beginning of your sophomore or junior year of college. This is what most colleges do. My school has a major declaration party for sophomores at the end of every year where we just celebrate the fact that we've declared our majors. And it's primarily a spring sophomore thing. So a lot of colleges ask you to list your intended major on your application. You don't have to put what you want to be as your career. You just want to give them an idea of what it is that you're interested in, and putting a potential major on your application just helps colleges build this greater narrative of who you are as a person. So even if you feel like you're unsure, if an application is just asking for your intended major, it doesn't hurt to put something that you're generally interested in. So yeah. if you feel like you're sitting here and you're kind of freaking out because you don't know what it is that you want to do, we're going to be talking a little bit more about how you can navigate this uncertainty and just get in some reassurance so you guys know that even if it might not feel like you don't know what you want to do, you've already done so much already and you can just continue to expand on that. So if you feel like you don't know, just know that that is very normal. So by a show of like virtual Zoom hands or whatever you guys want to do, who here has felt like they were supposed to know what they were doing with their life? Like I remember constantly getting asked a question, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Yeah, Sarah's got her hand raised, Rasia's got her hand raised. Lots of hand raised. Yeah. Natalie's got her hand raised too. It's Matthew too. Yeah, every single one of us. Like I especially me as a first gen student, like my parents always like drilled me asking like what is it that I want to do? And it was kind of very hard to like answer that question. I'm like, guys, I just turned 16. I couldn't tell you." Um and so it is normal to feel that pressure. But just know that there are ways that you're going to navigate that and you don't have to have all the answers right now. So most people go through cycles of clarity regarding what their career is. Um, and like we already discussed before, 50% of students change their major at some point. Like you're going to be confused, and that is completely okay. And the truth is, what you want for yourself is going to change at some point, whether that's in the professional aspects of your life or just personal. As we get older, as we grow up, as our frontal lobes develop, you're definitely going to start seeing that something that you thought you might have always wanted isn't necessarily for you. Like I really thought I was going to be a doctor, but you know, I kind of got to college and I was like this isn't going to work for me, and it was hard to sit with that, but then I feel so much more content in the major that I'm currently in. So all of this to say, don't feel like you're making a binding decision right now. You're not. You're making an important decision, but it's not solidified. Your future isn't set in stone just because you're applying to college as this major. And I know it feels so much bigger right now, but you're going to be sitting down in like your sophomore year and you're going to reflect back on your junior and senior year, speaking from personal experience, and realize that we were kind of freaking out for no reason. Like, of course, it's very something important to think about, but just know that your life is not over. Um, so yeah, it is okay to be uncertain. Just make sure that you're making decisions that you feel good about. You should feel good about going to college. You should feel good about being interested in a certain field. Just listen to yourself. Uncertainty is okay. And you guys have already been doing so much, and you will continue to grow in college. Um, like I said, you've already been reflecting. I know we have been sending you guys back and forth a brag sheet over the past couple of months, and make sure you're looking at that brag sheet to start thinking about what it is that you have been doing. Think about your personal motivations of why is it that you even want to go to college. Um, think about what you already have done. Think about your passions and your extracurriculars and use that to help you ease this uncertainty that you're feeling. And we're gonna keep on, your coaches are gonna keep texting you exercises like these so you could feel a bit more confident with where you're at right now, and just give you more of an opportunity to reflect. Because the more reflecting that you're doing, the more that you support yourself, and it will give you clarification so much sooner. So be sure to follow along with that. Um, so here's some ways for you guys to explore right now. Um, so we're going to be doing a little bit of an activity here. Use the Princeton's Review major search tool to explore some potential majors. So I want you guys to go in there and find the course catalog, look at classes offered in a specific major for a few different colleges and see if those classes seem interesting for you guys. So right now we're just gonna do the major search tool, but after that, make sure you're looking at like course catalogs. It's definitely a really helpful tool. Um, and then also want to do things like watch day in the life videos of students at the colleges that you're interested in to get a firsthand perspective of what it is that you might be dealing with. And we have one coming up for you guys. And then finally, just researching future earning potentials and or the job security of the specific major or career path you want to go to. So let's just go ahead and use that Princeton search thing. Sarah just put it in the chat, and go ahead and open that up and find a major that seems interesting for you, and then we're gonna come back and share what we found.
For me, it would be history.
History, cool.
Teaches you how to become a good reader, writer, understand the concept of human history and the social crisis that happens in our society and everything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I feel like as a political science major, like a lot of the things that we cover in class, like all have to do with history. Like we review historic cases. So I think that it's really good to pay attention to like the things that have happened in the past so you could understand how not to repeat them. And a lot of writing is done too. So thank you for sharing. Let's get into the day in the life video that I was telling you guys about. So I highly recommend you spend some time and look at like specific day in the life videos for like things that you're interested in. It could be really helpful, whether that's like schools you're interested in or like majors you're looking in. It's going to give you a taste of what to expect. So
Hello, my name is Jeremiah and I'm a first year at Quinnipiac. Starting my day, I wake up at 7 o'clock and get ready to head to the College of Arts and Sciences for my biostatistics class, learning classical methods with Professor Rothman. Then I head to Tater Hall for some chemistry with Professor Harper, learning about molality. During my hour break, I head to Cafe Q to get some food and then the library to study. My next class at Tater Hall is Chem Lab with Professor Madison doing a titration lab. I get in a good workout at the rec center, I grab some food, and then headed back to my dorm for a first year event. I go to the dance studio for a Black Student Union dance rehearsal, then it's off with my friends to rehearsal with the Q Legends, which is the only a cappella group on campus. Then I call it a day.
yeah, so that's his life as a Quinnipiac biochem major, I believe. And just notice that he ends his extracurriculars at 9:30 p.m. This is why I like to stress that college is an investment of your time as well. There, depending on what you do, like classes and extracurriculars as well, like you're probably going to be spending a lot of time. You will be spending a lot of time at school. So make sure you're doing things that you're interested in and that stimulate you intellectually so you're not just feeling like you're a zombie just doing a million things all at once. Do things that make you happy.
Hello?
But yeah. So if you are on the flip side of things and you feel like you do know what you want to do, we're going to be exploring um what it looks like to explore your future career and not just your current major right now. So if you feel like you know your major, but not so much your career, it is great that you have clarity around your major. But make sure that you're confirming that you're on the right path by one, checking if the subjects and classes align with your strengths, and two, checking the course catalogs and day in the life videos and see if they appeal. You want to read these course catalogs, the course descriptions, and watch these videos knowing that it's something that you could really see yourself doing and also enjoy, and also just making sure that it's a subject that you're pretty strong at. If you're someone that has always been particularly strong in like English and writing, but you searched up how much doctors make and you like that salary, but you still don't feel like you're a good student, you're not the most interested by like STEM fields, don't major in like a bio-related thing or go pre-med just because you feel like it's the only way you have money. Make sure you're looking in classes and subjects that align with your strengths as a person, because that passion is what's going to get you through it at the end of the day. Two, you want to look up what careers that the major that you're interested in could lead into. Remember that your major may influence your career. It doesn't decide it, but still, it's generally helpful to search up where people that have your degree typically go. And then finally, as you start searching for schools, and programs, check, does this school describe your major in a way that sounds exciting to you? And does the school have any major related special opportunities like research, internships, or exchange programs that interest you? So let's step back from just, if you feel like you've decided your major, look at how different schools offer that major. For example, me as a political science major, my school offers a philosophy and law track in in political science, which allows me to dive deeper into my philosophy and legal studies classes. But political science at another school might be more focused on the way that the government runs. And so this is just one example, but different schools can offer majors in different ways. So that's something to consider while you're doing research. And then I'm also in my school's dual degree program, and if a dual degree is something that interests you, make sure you look into whether that school offers it. Some schools have like accelerated programs where you can get your bachelor's and like your Juris Doctor, which is like the law degree, in a compressed amount of time and in a more accelerated time. So look for schools that offer those special opportunities if you feel like you are pretty solidified with your major. It's a great thing to look into right now. And feel free to schedule a meeting with me if you want to further go into like these more niche opportunities for you guys. So yeah. Another slide for this part is there's so many avenues to a career, and I guess the best way to get clear is just by using the resources that are already there. Go on Google, search up top majors for insert career interest. If you feel like you know what your career interest is, but you're not too sure on what to major in, literally just going on Google and searching up what do lawyers usually major in. That's a good general place to start. Also look at the education requirements for a certain career. Like some careers do want you to have specific undergraduate degrees, certain degrees that are like specific to that field, like nursing and engineering and architecture always talked about. Some careers require you to have a master's degree or a doctorate or just honestly some sort of graduate degree. So definitely make sure you're looking into that. And then you can also confirm that you're on the right path by watching those day of a life videos, but for this time around, just day in the life of insert career that you're interested in. You can also talk to people that you know work in that field. And another really good thing to do is just interning or working in that area. If you even just go to, if you're interested in like, let's say, law enforcement, going to your local police precinct and asking them what opportunities they might have or like if they have any internships, that is a great way to get your foot in the door. So it's just ways to confirm that you feel like you are on the right path. And also it is okay to choose a major because you enjoy it. Don't necessarily feel like you have to do things because you think that this is the only way you're going to get to a career. You need to do things out of passion. I promise you, it is going to help get you through it so much easier. So yeah, remember, it is completely okay to change your mind. Would anyone like to read this slide? If not, that's okay. Natalie, yeah?
It says college is a time of exploration and getting to know more about yourself. Start refining your interests now through the first 2 years of college, and you'll come out with lots of clarity.
Yeah. Thank you for reading. But college is, I really can't stress how much you get to know about yourself as a student, but also as a person. So just remember that you don't need to have it all figured out right now. It's very rare that someone actually has it completely figured out at this age. It is okay to take that time to just explore and learn about yourself. That's the entire point of it. It's a time to make mistakes, time to get to know yourself. So take advantage of that. And just know that those first 2 years of college are essentially for that. And after that, you're going to come out with a lot more clarity on what you want to do. So, yeah, just know it is okay to change your mind. Regardless, you're going to be just fine. I'm absolutely certain. So, I know we just talked a lot about exploring and deciding. And now we want to connect that more deeper to you. We're going to be talking about personal narratives in this section, and that's just going to entail talking about who you are as a person and how you might want to share that through aspects of your application, such as your personal statement, your supplemental essays, and your extracurriculars. So just like the last section, this doesn't mean you don't have to be 100% certain of everything you want to do, but you also want to have a little bit more self-awareness and be intentional about your college application so that the admissions team know that you're ready to take your future seriously and know that you're going to take advantage of the opportunities that the school has to offer you. So, what is a personal narrative? Your narrative is going to be the story that you choose. Notice that choose is underlined to tell colleges. It's a way to share who you are, and you are the only person that gets to say what you want and don't want to share in your personal narrative. Your personal statement is whatever you want it to be about. You have full creative liberty in that. And same with your supplemental essays. Like colleges probably are going to ask you certain prompts to fill out, but you are in charge of what goes on there and what doesn't. So you want to think that through a little bit and spend some time reflecting on your personal narrative, because your application is going to stand out so much more if you feel like it can, one, effectively introduce you, two, tell a consistent story of you that paints a clear picture of who you are as a student, and three, it also should feel empowering. Sharing who you are should be an empowering thing for you. It is a great way to for colleges to get to know you better. I feel like the entire goal of college applications, honestly, is for the admissions officers to feel like they know you just by reading your application. And I know that's a pretty big ask, which is why you have to be as reflective as possible. You have to feel like be as intentional as possible so that the admissions officers know that you're serious about making the decision that is going to college. So here are just some things to include in a personal narrative. So you might want to consider sharing what are the things that are important to you, what values really matter to you, what is it that motivates you to go to college, what do you see yourself doing in the future, what are some opportunities you would want to make the most of in college that could be specific to that college, or just general opportunities. And then you also want to talk about things that you hope to learn about yourself in college. Colleges want to see that you're curious and are willing to learn. That's the entire point, is that you are going to be learning for another 4 years. And like I said before, with an honest and a cohesive narrative, colleges are going to feel like they know who you are beyond just the applicant, just beyond the name on the application. They should start to get a feel of who you are as a person. And I know you guys already started to work on your brag sheets, hopefully, but just know that you already have done a lot for college. To start thinking about your personal narrative, you've already been building up who you are as a person for as long as you guys have been alive, as long as you've been students, and just know that it is going to evolve a little bit more. So I want you to take a couple of minutes. We'll do 4 minutes for you guys to just start thinking about what exactly you want to be on your personal narrative. Maybe write like 4 to 6 bullet points on what it is you want to be. And just remember, it's probably going to evolve as you apply to college, but think about your strong suits as of right now. And I will give you guys 4 minutes to do that. And you don't have to share this, but if you do, just know you could always talk about it with your coach over text or schedule a meeting with me, whatever it is, but we can start thinking about personal narratives together. So take some time to brainstorm this. So I feel like that is a solid amount of time. Hopefully you guys were able to write something. Again, don't have to share it right now, but talk to your coaches about it. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our workshop. We spoke so much about what it means to apply as a certain major, or just start to get to know your major. And so I hope you guys came out of this workshop feeling a little bit more clarity with wherever it is you're feeling, whether you feel like you know your major or not. Just knowing that it is okay wherever you're at and that you have time to figure it out. That is the overarching goal of our workshop. We want you guys to know that it is not too late, and it's good to start thinking about things now, and that your confusion or uncertainty can be completely okay right now. So if you have any feedback for us, we always incorporate feedback into our next year's workshop. So I just dropped the link. Your feedback is really helpful to us. This is a pretty new workshop topic, so we incorporated this based off of what students wanted to hear. So fill that out if that's of interest of you. And then finally, we have some time for questions. So if anyone has questions, I am here to answer. If not, thank you so much for coming, and you can hop off